Will you look back when you're old and gray and think those dumb kids had a lot to say when we were trying to make this night one you'd remember? I don't care if my wheels don't turn, I don't care if my pipe don't burn, as long as I am flowing through your veins after I'm gone away.
It's Thursday night, and you know what that means.
You waited so long to get that at the right time. We're going to be talking about Nemesis today, so I've done some prep. I'm hoping everyone else talks a lot today because we're allowed to film and we weren't allowed to take photos of what was in there. But Bianca never said we had to keep it a secret, so it's a legal loophole today. But we're going to have back on the show Coast with the Joneses. How you doing?
Oh.
I don't know if we're going to get people come after us for talking about. No, we shouldn't do. We should be all right. I'm interested actually.
If anyone does, they can always.
I'm interested, and Ben can find out when he goes because he's going to the other one as well. Because the second one there's only 2 events as far as I know. I wonder if they're going to let them film and go, well, there's not another event after this now, so film whatever you want. And it would just be interesting to see if they get extra stuff because they're allowed to film what they were talking about. I don't know what you think about that.
I just want to know if they get refreshments given to them because it'll be warm at that time of year.
Should we get into that first?
And we know that they overrun a bit. But hey ho.
Do you want to talk about the refreshment situation first?
It's just, I don't know. They say you have to buy at the bar. This is before when you book the tickets and everything. They say
you get a piece of information about what it includes.
Yeah.
And one of them was refreshments are available to buy. Now we got gifted this. I know it cost 150 quid, which I didn't realise till afterwards. I thought it was 120.
Yeah, we thought.
So someone told me what they paid for their ticket. But also, I can't remember what the Big Bang package. Cheaper than 150, I think. And if they can afford to bankroll that, some food there, I was surprised they can afford. But then I don't know what kind of cut John's taken of that money. I don't know. What do you think, Andy? Let's talk about that first, just before we get into it. What do you think about what was included?
I think there should have been food, personally. Just with the timings, it being from 4 till 8, you didn't really want to have your tea before that or after that, but then there was no food included.
Yeah. Even if it was the fireworks where there was just a few cakes and coffee and juice, that would have been sufficient. Yeah. It's just the fact you were sitting there and, you could go to the bar, but didn't really want to go away at the bar and pay £10 for a drink. I just want to. I think if it had gone a bit more, not smoothly, it's not the right word, but if it got a bit quicker in terms of the queuing, I don't think people would have been that bothered. But yeah, certainly by the end of it, I was craving a drink and some food.
What did you think about? Because we got a gold fast track with it, and we got a Nemesis fast track with it, which isn't part of the gold fast track. But we didn't get a chance to use the Nemesis fast track because Nemesis was down for a lot of the day. Ironically, what did you?
Yeah, I think it was just bad luck. There's a lot of people that got it that day. It was just bad timing from us in terms of the times we went there, I think. Obviously, towards the end of the day, I think it was down for a little bit more time. But it was just bad luck on our behalf. When you're kind of walking around in a big group between the rides, it's fairly time-consuming doing that. So we only walked past Nemesis twice, I think, did we?
Yeah, we aimed to get it back there for 3 p.m, but...
Annoyingly, when we arrived at the ride, it was open, and then as soon as kind of Ben and Holly walked towards the gate, it said it was down, which was a little bit annoying. But
very DeLorean. I don't know if I don't know if I want to cover anything before we talk about the actual event. But really, I've gone over the price. I've gone over. We got gold fast track included. We got the talk. Everything else was at the event and gold fast track.
Like I said, the schedule's actually in that bag there. I should have got it out sooner before the show, but everything's just underneath the envelope.
All right.
The fast tracks aren't actually fast tracks anymore.
What do you mean they're not fast tracks anymore?
Well, it was nearly 45 minutes to wait for Smiler, isn't it?
Yeah. The fast track queues were packed.
Yeah. The main queue was only 60 minutes, but then it was 45 minutes with the fast track, which are they oversold, or is it just that the ride was struggling with
I
throughput
don't
that
know.
day.
Obviously, we weren't that bothered because we were in a group and we were talking to each
That's
other,
it.
and it goes fairly quick. But if you're going to Alton Towers for your first visit and you've paid whatever it is, 90 quid each for the fast tracks.
Yeah, because it didn't include entry. It didn't include the event. Didn't include your entry. You had to pay extra for that if you didn't have an annual pass.
Yeah. If you go into Towers just on a normal day and bought the fast tracks and that's queue for like an hour for each fast track, get a bit annoying, especially when you pay that much money.
13 was quite a long wait on the fast track as well.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to move in sections out of it. I think it was the opposite. We're a bit slow on that one.
Yeah, there's a little card on each lanyard, which is quite cool actually, because they've even dated the lanyards to make sure that no one that's come on the 4th to come back again.
I like the way the times I don't with actually what happened.
So it says 4 p.m. Arrive at Alton Towers Hotel from 4 p.m. and make your way to the stater room located in the conference centre, where you'll be greeted with an invitation to join a photo opportunity alongside your esteemed VIP guests, John Wadley, John Burton, and Bianca Samet. Sorry, nurse. Bianca. I do this with names.
Are you going to read the rest, or do you want me to go?
Well, I don't know if you wanted to talk about each section. That's why I stopped.
I was just going to try and answer Fairground Laura, and he asked. We weren't allowed to ask. We didn't get a Q&A bit. I thought we were getting a Q&A bit. That never happened.
Yeah.
And if it had happened, it overran. The event overran that much that even though I was entitled to a free photo, I did not want to queue as long as I had to get the free photo. So I did not get anything signed because what they did, the people at the front of that signing queue were there for ages with bags of merch, and then about 20 people down the line, they realised, oh, this is going to overrun a lot, and we've got to get people out to the theme park to go around Nemesis. So then they started rushing people, but the first people in that line should be on the hit list.
I
But also,
with a bag
I
of
mentioned
merch.
it a bit at the start. I thought it was 120 quid, but someone told me they paid 150 for it.
Unless someone was selling them.
120 still much.
You had the right idea. You had the right idea on the sign-ins, though, Mike. Where we were all queuing to get our stuff signed. You were just sitting in the middle drinking beer. You had the
beer, and then I remember. I mean, we're going to cut back to the actual tour, but I remember at the end of the tour, you went because we'll talk about it later on. But they had the eyeball out again over the other side of the crater, and by that point, we'd overrun by over an hour. And you were like, "Do you want to go get some more photos?" But I was like, "No, I want to go home." I was just like, they'd made me not want to be around Nemesis anymore. They were like, "You want Nemesis? Here's as much Nemesis as you can take. So you don't want it no more."
Bearing in mind, though, we got up really early in the morning, and we'd been there from the morning.
Oh yeah, from when
the whole park opened.
Yeah.
So 9 o'clock. Yeah.
We got there at 9. Yeah.
Till literally, we'd been there more than 12 hours.
We didn't leave till like before 9.
Yeah.
My legs didn't feel like my own legs by about 8 o'clock at night.
12 hours. Yeah.
What I liked about that was we actually met that Mike Ely who wrote who helped make the Haunted. Did he write the book, or did he also help make Haunted House?
He helped with all the.
I don't want to put him down. Did he actually help with the Haunted House? Did he just write a book?
He did help with it, and he helped with writing the publication of it as well.
So he happened to be there as a guest, so we talked to him instead.
Oh, he's brilliant, and he's such a down to earth guy. I found out that there's a lot of things. Like I said, I've put it on our things on my Insta, basically saying there's certain things that he said about possibly a new one coming out. And obviously that one's about Jewel. So from going this to Jewel, the haunted house. I keep wanting to say haunted mansion. I'm so sorry if I've offended Disney people there. But
you will if they've seen the haunted
house. I
house.
can't help it. But to go from that to then Jewel to then obviously the curse. So there may be more to come for that. But yeah. But it was nice because we were talking about the Easter eggs, and I made a joke when I was with our good friend Lee on the Curse of Alton Manor, and I made a joke about a picture going, "Oh," and I just turned around and said, "Oh, is there Easter eggs of people that made the ride or helped make towards the ride?" And you were like, "Maybe," and I laughed about this one guy in this picture frame. Funnily enough,
And you met him.
Yeah, and it's him. So there's one guy that's in a picture frame that's like stood in sort of like a soldier's outfit, and then the wife is sat in front, obviously sitting in front like a lady, in like sort of the year attire, and it turns out it's actually Michael Ely, and his wife. So I was like, oh my word, because I made a joke to Lee about it, going, "Did this person make bit of the ride?" Then he went, "Maybe." And he just smiled. So I was like, oh, Maybe. So there's not just Easter eggs of like different rides. There's possible pictures of concept arts or other things on there as well. So it's quite good.
Buy his book
But
and buy our book, and then everyone's
Yeah.
happy. He's going to buy my.
I
think he's already bought my book. I've got a few more sales.
But there was me and obviously another person that joined our group with the fast tracks. That I'd actually got this book out of everyone that was there. So it was a lovely treat. And I also found out it was Michael's birthday. So happy birthday to Michael for that day. But it made his day the fact that there was 2 people asking for a signature of this book. So that's the thing. And it left me absolutely buzzing. Honestly, that made my day. But it just seemed more personal. I think it's just because there wasn't as a big queue. Maybe that's probably why. But yeah, it did make my day.
Hello, Trey.
Hi, Trey.
I was trying to get that in there. But what I want to say is, I don't know if Andy's going to help me out. Before we talk about the event, Fairground Glorian's talking about the second book. Did John actually write it, or is it someone writing it for him?
It's definitely him that's written it.
Okay. I wasn't sure if he had a ghostwriter kind of do the work.
Yeah, it's quite a bit different. But quite a bit different to the first book in that it's not really his career. It's more about actual attractions and how dark rides came about and the technology behind them. And it goes into like a lot of depth about how the rides are created and stuff. Almost to the point where there's a couple of pages that are just like, I'm just going to skip that page. Because I wasn't really gaining anything from it. It's a really good book, don't get me wrong. And it's really interesting.
I've never heard a positive review of a book go, I didn't really gain anything from it. But
it's nowhere near as good as the first book, in my opinion. But, yeah.
So if we talk about this event, we got there at like... We got there quite early, like 3:20 outside the conference centre, and there was already a queue, and then it took ages to sign in, but that happens. And then we walked through, and I kind of joked. It was a bit like 28 weeks later when you're in the safe zone.
Yeah.
Because there's people scattered about this massive room, and there's phalanx there, and I think Andy said the phalanx created a bit of an atmosphere because they were kind of just stood there.
Well, it was when they were standing on the ploy a bit, wasn't it? They were just standing there. Everybody's like really quiet in the room. Nobody was really talking to each other. It just felt a bit awkward. Then that's
what they do, isn't
that's
it?
what they do. That's what they were there for.
And then we went. There's this big staircase there that goes down because everything's like on the lower floor. And I don't. They knew like 200 people were going to be there, but it just seemed like that was the first moment you realised that they should have done a dry run of this with like staff or something, because we're all. I don't know how safe it was to queue on that staircase, but then because you were quite far in front of us, so did you get to the bottom floor?
I don't know how we managed to do that. We turned around when we got to the bottom of the steps and you weren't there, so I don't know. We were funny up to that point, so I don't know what happened. But
yeah,
there's about 10 people in front of us in the signing.
Yeah,
because we were about halfway up the staircase and we didn't even know why. We thought we were just queuing to get in and then open the doors yet until we got to the bottom floor, which took a while, and then it was like, oh, we're taking photos.
Yeah, well, the staff were actually saying to people that why don't you go and sit down and get a drink, and then you can come back later for the signing.
I don't think they would have let many people do that, though. I was scared that they'd go, well, no, you can't.
What if you've already...
Yeah, you may have already had a photo.
Yeah, well, nobody did that anyway. Everybody was carried on queuing. So.
Yeah, there were a few, because then they were waiting right to the end till the signing finished to have their pictures before they went on the top.
Ultimately, in my opinion, there's too many people there. There should have been more like 100 people, not the 200 or whatever it was.
I agree.
That would have worked perfectly then. There would have been enough time to do the kind of the photos, the signings, everything. It was a bit oversubscribed, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's still an absolutely fantastic event, and I really enjoyed it. But that could have made the difference that would make it feel a little bit more VIP.
On the other hand,
you didn't have to queue so much.
One of the benefits of taking so long to have a photo and then taking so long to get the sign-in is when we went to actually see Nemesis, when we arrived, it was kind of still daytime. When we were leaving, it was nighttime. So we got that blend of kind of seeing it kind of in the light and in the dark, which is quite cool. And if it had finished at 8 o'clock, we wouldn't have seen it in the dark at all, would we? So.
I think they should rename it to VIE, just a very important event.
No, it gets confusing then.
Because then if they're not really like, it was just the way, I don't know, like you got numbers on your event. Sort of like passes.
That was just so they knew I had 200.
But then when it came on to the next bit afterwards, it was a bit confusing as to who had already been to see the walk around bit.
Oh no, because they signed you off when you got off site.
Yeah.
They had the tablet because they signed you in on when you got there.
Mm.
They signed you off when we left. We had to tell them what number we had.
Okey-dokey.
They signed us off.
Yeah. Okay.
But
To be honest, I was there for ages, and I was like,
when we went in queue, and then what did you? Because I wasn't with you three. What did you say to the two Johns and Bianca when you got your photo taken?
Hi. And then we had a photo taken with that. That was basically it. Yeah, it was not really an opportunity to talk to them that much because you felt like the people waiting behind you were kind of burning in the back of your face. So it was just like shake hands, get a photo taken. And for some reason, I don't know why I did it. Bearing in mind, John Ward is like my hero. I basically, when we got the photo taken, I just turned my back to him. He was standing behind me. I don't know why I did it. I was just on the photo, I'm looking like the opposite direction, and Wardley's just kind of standing there in the middle of nowhere. It's a really awkward looking photo.
I walked up and I said, John Wardley went to shake my hand, and I said, this is a bit like queuing to get a photo with Santa, this. And then they kind of laughed. And then I went over to the other John quickly and said, oh, John, you cheeky chappy with that RMC mug, and you're not getting an RMC. And he kind of laughed. And then we had the photo taken. And the guy taking the photos later told us every 15 photos he took, he actually took a selfie of himself as well.
Well, one thing I would say is Bianca has done a research. Because as we were walking up to meet them all, obviously she knows Ben and Holly because she's met them before, but there's somebody else in front of us.
Coaster Dad, she said.
Coaster Dad was
glad to
behind us.
finally meet you.
Yeah, and basically everybody that we saw meeting her, she knew exactly who they were, apart from us. But I think she recognised us from meeting her previously a couple of times, but she didn't know her name. But yeah, she knew Coaster Dad's name. She knew most of the people that were in front of us and behind us. She did the research, to be fair to her.
John Burst didn't recognise Ben and Holly for like the dog.
Yeah. Just talking about the doll.
Yeah.
Oh, Megan.
yeah, Megan.
The doll that's in the curse. Yeah.
I was gonna say this. Bianca always asked me and you, didn't she? Like, what are your names?
I don't even remember talking to her at all. She kind of just laughed a bit at the Santa Claus line I told John, but
she turned around to me and hello, are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? I went, yeah. And I'm thinking, there's a big line there. There's a load of people.
you should have said
Like,
to
get
her,
the
well, no,
photo.
I'm not okay.
And
This
I'm like-
event's over.
I was like, there's just a lot of people. And she was like, oh, okay, you sure? I went, yeah. And then I just got the photo. I went, thank you for keeping the magic going.
Yeah, we met her.
I'm actually smiling.
We met her as we were going into Pirate Takeover on the first day of Pirate Takeover.
Yeah.
We stood there for like 5-10 minutes and talked to her, and she's like the most down to earth person. We talked to her normally, you wouldn't think that she's the director of this massive theme park operation, but she was there just to speak to people, to get people's views on kind of the event and stuff. I've never seen that before at Towers. I've never seen any of the exec walking around, just seeing how people are having a day and experiencing it. She's doing stuff differently to previous management, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think she's trying to go for like sort of get more people to come to the park. You need to get to know the people.
Yeah.
In order to do it. So it's like, well, that's the best way she can go about it, isn't it? Because to say that she's lived in another country for some time as well. I think
she's been in Dubai for a bit as well.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I'm not sure how much of the stories and stuff we're supposed to talk about, but the story that she said when she went with John Burton to get Nemesis signed off, that was quite interesting.
There's been a couple of interesting bits as well. I don't know what we can and can't say, but
I think we can talk about everything because it's just through us, isn't it? We're not actually showing.
But yeah, is Bianca the most impressive head of a park we have had in a long time?
I think Mike Vallis at Thorpe Park was very good. That's one that comes to mind. Like, I'm not saying he was brilliant, but he was. I'm kind of waiting. It's like when a football team gets a new player and that player scores a lot of goals in the first few matches, but then they might. I'm not saying Bianca's going to do a bad job, but I don't want to jump on something and go, this is brilliant. And then Smiler's brilliant, and then it hurts someone, and then you're like, I'm a bit stupid saying that's brilliant.
It does kind of feel like since Bianca's started, Berlin have pushed a lot of money away, and I'm not sure that'll be.
How much budget has she got left?
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see.
I mean, she might do well, but I'm just saying, I don't want to put all my eggs in that basket. I'll just sit back and watch, see what happens.
I was saying to Lou just before we came on the thing that Hyperia feels like it was John Burton's second job down his list. We were talking about Nemesis and how Nemesis is being redone and rethemed and the effort that's going into it, the advertising campaigns, and then obviously the adverts came out today for Hyperia, and it just feels like John Burton was working exclusively on Nemesis and then doing Hyperion in his spare time. That's
I
kind of what
often
it is.
feel like Thought Park don't really mind about theming too much. Like,
Yeah, it's not just the theme in it; it's the advertising campaigns and everything that goes with a new ride that just doesn't exist for Hyperion. Not in the same way as it did for Nemesis.
I don't know. I don't think it needs it for what it is.
Not for enthusiasts, but definitely for the public.
But you have got to work harder to get people's interest in an old coaster, which is effectively what it is, and bring something new and make it look like a new coaster.
Yeah.
So you've really got to bring that new thing to it.
Yeah.
But then Hyperion, people are going to ride it because it's the tallest, fastest.
You see, in work, when I was talking about Nemesis, everybody knew who Nemesis was. But when I was talking about Hyperion, they're like, "What? What's Hyperion?" And nobody I spoke to knew anything about it, even being built. Never mind opening in a couple of weeks' time.
Ooh.
Let's segue from that, because one of the first things John spoke about, I'm going to say for people that didn't go, what happened was John and John got reserved seats at the front of the crowd, so whoever got sat next to them accidentally got to sit next to them. But then they got interviewed one after the other by Bianca. I like the setup. It looked very much like chat showish, and the lighting was good.
Yeah.
I didn't think, looking back, I'm just saying it's not my cup of tea. I'm not saying it's bad. I didn't think Bianca needed to be in that position. I think you could have had both Johns there, because she was reading off a clipboard and had prompts, and it was kind of like they could have been prompted to interact and tell their stories.
They could have, but I think she was probably the better interviewer out of the three. I can imagine John Wardley being the interviewer would be fairly laborious, but that way, I don't know. I quite like Bianca. I think she was a.
See, in my head, I thought it'd be a bit like, when
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Do you know when you go to a Comic-Con and you have like, I don't know, for example, one that I've been to, Craig Charles and some of the Red Dwarf cast there.
Chris Barry.
And yeah, them too. And then basically, you literally have someone with a microphone, and then you ask the question, and then obviously they answer it at the front. I thought it'd be that type of scenario, but I was really surprised. But in a way, I think they left it quite structured.
I agree with
there's only so much they
DeLorean.
could share, so I could understand why they were doing it.
That's what I mean, Fairground DeLorean,
So-
not like interview, like if there were two of them chatting about. Because essentially, they kind of maybe got asked leading questions, but they really just told stories.
Maybe, yeah.
And the first story, because you were talking about the advertising, was how, and they showed some documents, which it was on a big screen, but even if I'd taken a photo of that, it would have taken me ages to analyse what I was looking at. But they had some of the planning stuff there. And
It doesn't for me, because I'm an engineer.
you want to talk about the rest of it?
No, it's fine, Bob.
Great pop shots at me, right? But he was saying Blackpool were building the big one, and they had no idea what Alton Towers were doing, to the extent that they were kind of, look, we've got this big coaster everyone knows we're building, but we got no idea what you're doing or what you're planning, and they're a bit.
They're just building a big hole, basically, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're a bit intimidated by Towers, I think, because they didn't know what they were doing and knew that they must have been doing something good.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you thought about that when you were telling that story.
I'll be honest, every single story that Wardley said, apart from one, is in his first book.
Yeah. So
What's the one that's not? Are you allowed to tell us?
I can't remember what it was now.
I felt like it was a bit of a plug-in.
But the one about naming Nemesis was in his book. The one about digging a hole was in his book.
Yeah, he's told the name in Nemesis one loads of times, I think, at ECC events and stuff.
There was one, but I can't think what it was.
But from that aspect, Burton's talk was a lot more informative, because there's a lot of stuff that obviously he's not put out there before that was quite interesting. So specifically when Nemesis got cancelled, that to me, that didn't even enter my head that Nemesis might not actually exist anymore.
I'm surprised that didn't make. Well, I suppose Wardley wouldn't know about it. They didn't make Wardley's second book.
I liked the art and the technical drawings.
Yeah.
The creative side of things.
Well, it was interesting that I didn't realise they'd scanned the entire site with LiDAR and created that 3D model of Nemesis to then kind of upgrade it and change the station and stuff. That was quite interesting.
So did you know the story about
bless you.
Varney said to Wardley that it had to end in "is" Did you?
Yeah.
Was that one in the book?
When they were drinking the Southern Comfort in his office. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know the bit about he had to end in IS. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't remember. It was a year or so ago. I read the book.
Bears are here. Go watch their content.
Yes, that
Right.
is up.
Wait till this video's over. But
Yeah, there's. I'm trying to think who else was there. There's lots of people that we knew, and then they held like adverts before they started the discussion because the discussion.
yeah, Adam and Craig were on there. Straight away, we were putting the video up going,
Yeah.
you know you're here.
And back of Stacey's head as well.
What was that?
The back of Stacey's head was on the videos.
Yeah.
How was it?
Stacey's head.
Oh,
and
I thought you said Stacey's head.
Sibby, you were in the queue line in one of them as well.
He's going to ask for royalties, I think.
Just seeing you turn around and just saw your little face.
Yeah, they had the Nemesis adverts on loop, didn't they, on the big screen as you were coming in.
Yeah. And it was lovely because everyone that we knew, we all sat together, didn't we? And it was nice. It was really nice.
Well, feel free to jump in with stuff after I've done this bit because I'm going back and forth. But I actually really liked, and I thought they could have done a version of it that worked instead of what they actually put out. But when they showed the video of John Burton have made a sign that when you're far away, it says phalanx, but when you got closer, it the angle you're at underneath the sign, you can see it say Forbidden Valley instead.
It's like one of those, what the rule is called. You saw the rule
perception, isn't it, or something? Yeah.
But yeah, that was quite cool, but yeah, it wouldn't work, would it?
Oh no, but I think you could make a different version of it. But the version he showed, because at first I wondered what the video was going to be, because it was a weird angle just right underneath. I was like, "What's he showing us?" And then he kind of backed off. Because when he said there were problems along the way, and you kind of saw this black, like little bit of structure on top of a forklift, and I thought, "Are we going to see something fall over in a minute?" Is that what he means by, having these hurdles to overcome? But no, it wasn't.
It got me. That was only was it like 3 weeks before it opened?
Oh yeah, it was quite late.
Yeah. So they were obviously doing it down to the wire, weren't they?
Oh yeah.
Build. That was obviously fairly clear. But...
You were just saying here, it says 5 p.m. experience an in-depth discussion with John Wardley, the original visionary behind Nemesis, John Burton, the senior creative lead, and Bianca Summit, divisional director at Alton Towers Resort, delve into the creative journey of the legendary Nemesis that they share, memories and insights. Now that started at 5. Then
after
6.
5, actually, yeah. It was meant to start at 5.
Exactly. So
it went on past 6, I think, didn't it?
Just because of the photos at the beginning. And it says here, 6 o'clock, opportunity to receive a signed photo, then meet the phalanx and go behind the scenes of the reimagined Nemesis. Event ends approximately 8 p.m.
I think the second event will probably be run better. No, I blame the people, them not getting us in earlier, and I also blame I don't know the names of them. If I did, I would gladly say it on air. I blame the people that were at the very front of that queue getting signings because they had bags of stuff and were just taking the mick. And then they got some other kind of divisional guy came down eventually who I recognised. I've had conversations with before. Came down. And he looked like he was hurrying him through.
Yeah, well, he was really good, to be fair, because when we went
there, he is a good guy, yeah.
Darcy wanted a t-shirt signed, and he was the one that I said to him, "Was like, is there any chance Darcy could get a t-shirt signed? Because they're all sitting behind the desk, weren't they?" And I wasn't sure whether not kind of acceptable. But yeah, basically they kind of spun Wardley around a bit so he could just sign the back of Darcy's shirt. And then Bianca and the other John kind of got up and signed the back of the shirt as well. That's quite cool, isn't it? It's gone straight in a merch pile now, the City True shirt, to never be worn again.
I know Tower's argument will be to us and what the Bears are saying. They'll go, well, it was 8 p.m. somewhere. We didn't say what time zone it was.
It's approximate.
I'd be interested to see what time the Bears got out because they were in the group after us, weren't they?
Oh yeah, I was in a position where I was like, what I'll pick out what I want to look at, and then I'm going to rush through because I was so tired, and I'm like, I'm still got to drive home here. Do you know?
The Bears escape. What time did you leave from Alton Towers after your show round of the ride and things?
It was my understanding at the time.
Curious.
There were rumours we weren't going to be able to get stuff signed, and that's what the photos were for. I don't know if that was what was meant to happen, and they just got their arms stretched and went, "Okay, it's not going to be that bad if we let you sign a few things," and that's how it got out of hand.
Whoa!
58. It was definitely dark and the bears laughed.
Whew.
The guy that was in the ops booth said he'd been on the ride all day as well. So
He'd been there since 9 o'clock in the morning. The guy that was operating the.
He seemed quite.
Mm.
That guy at the ops booth seemed quite lively, though, didn't he?
But to be fair, when we went in and did the behind the scenes tour, all the people we spoke to were excellent.
Oh yeah.
Really, really good.
In fact, hopefully,
smooth operator Phalanx guy was my favourite.
Hopefully people can still hear us over this because it's a muted video, but I've got like a 2-minute video of some highlights. Yeah, you should be able to still hear us.
Yeah, that Phalanx guy.
I think it's in Coaster Dad's vlog as well where he said that.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was really good there. To the point where I wasn't sure whether or not he was entertainment staff rather than the rider.
Oh, just come in for the...
Yeah. I did like the Phalanx team though. They seemed, I don't know, informative, really helpful. Entertaining if things got a little bit, in terms of a long wait for in between groups and stuff. So that was quite nice actually.
One of the criticisms I've got about this is they had loud Nemesis era music still playing. I mean, these guys were on a speaker and sometimes it was like the music's quite loud. Because the guy next to the guy not speaking right now, but the one next to him is called wasn't it like John Worsley or something? It's very similar to John Worsley.
Yeah.
Well, I thought they might be brothers. I'm sure they have the same surname. I could be wrong. But they kind of look similar as well.
Except from one was ginger and one was.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely the music could have been dialed back a little bit for that night because it was even when we're doing the vlogs and we're watching them back, it was just so loud.
The lady talking about the big eye balloon.
She was really fighting it.
Yeah.
Sean, her name was, and she was. I can't remember what she was now.
She's the PR manager.
Yeah, it's like someone do a PR, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She was like the amount of
She was
people
doing,
that
like,
have
the
seen the
marketing
marketing was like
Yeah.
13 times for every person in the UK or something.
She mentioned the place. So I don't know if you guys want to explore the place one day as well, where they filmed that night. That'd be quite cool. Just to see. But apparently they had a dog walker. Because I commented in the advert going, "Oh, there's a dog walker there, like that you saw online." So, there's a dog walker there. What of all the things? And they have a dog walker walk past when you see the Nemesis eye. But apparently they purposely had a dog walker there so you could see the sheer size of the eye on purpose. And I was like, what?
That guy was good. The engineer guy with the wheels. He was really kind of informative.
Do you reckon he is a fan of roller coasters, or do you reckon he's an engineer who happened to?
Yeah.
I think he likes his engineering more than his roller coasters. That's the impression I got.
It's only because when I did a backstage tour of Drayton Manor, the engineer there wasn't really interested in roller coasters at all. It was just the fact it was a weird train to do, so he was doing it.
Yeah, I think that guy, the engineering guy at Towers, he'd been there a while as well. Hasn't he? I think he's probably been there years and he knows Nemesis inside out.
Yeah.
Interesting. Did you see what he said about the rattle when we're standing there? Were you standing there at the same time?
No, I know what he said about putting a mix of wheels on to get fast and to get the speed.
Yeah, well, where the plastic fiberglass covers are that go over the wheel. Just inside that, there was another bit of fiberglass, and he was saying that was the rattle because he shook this bit of fiberglass with his hand, and it's quite loose and flappy. And he said he thought that's what the rattle was. Well, that is the case. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like the whole roller coaster car's rattling.
Yeah, but to lift Tales of Thrills, he said it was the sand in the track.
Yeah, some people reckon the sand settled in the track funny, and that's what's causing the rattle. But I don't know. But yeah, that engineer guy, he flacked a bit of plastic on top of the car and said that he thinks that's one of the things that's causing the rattle. And that would make sense from on that day we went when it closed, and the engineer, he kind of climbed on top of the train and he was fiddling with something in about the same area this guy was rattling. So,
I've just got an interesting one here saying, Sibby, I'm sure you've probably seen John Wardley when you were in the queue line in day for Nemesis Reborn.
He looks so frail,
I'm sure
doesn't
you
he?
might have seen him from a distance.
You
might have been past him.
There was a bit where that wall behind the photo op kind of got knocked, and I was like, I hope you don't fall forward because he looks quite frail, John Wardley, these days.
Yeah, he was standing there and he was kind of swaying a little bit, and that whole wall behind him was like moving. I was like, please don't kill Wardley that way. It's not the best way to go, is it?
Yeah,
That's one though. Having to stand still like in one place for all that time, like over an hour.
And then doing a
photos.
talk, and then doing the signings as well.
Yeah.
How old was is he? 73, 74?
Yeah.
When I'm 74, I won't be standing up for an hour signing there, getting photos taken and signing autographs.
Depends how much the fee is.
Yeah, even so, it's still a long time to be standing up and kind of then doing a talk and then doing signings as well.
I remember Coaster Dad was like, I told Coaster Dad when we sat down, I went, he does look a bit like Jasper Carrot though, doesn't he? And Coaster Dad was like, thanks, that's an image I can't get out of my head now.
Yeah, but I kid you not, that was the first thing I said when I first saw him in person. And I was like, oh, look at that Jasper Carrot guy over there. And then Mike's like, that's John Wardley. And I'm like, oh.
Also, if John Burton went near a naked flame that his hair would like catch fire, he had that much product in his hair. It was stationary. It moved with his head.
Darcy and Laura, what did you think of when you met John Wardley and John Burton and Bianca as well?
Who do you prefer, Darcy? Do you prefer Wardley or Burton? If you had to choose one, which
You're going to say Bianca.
Yeah, you would say Bianca, actually, probably, wouldn't you? Probably.
Yeah, I think all of them are really nice people. They're all really chatty. They're happy to give you their time. I mean, we've met Wardley before at Nemesis closing event and chatted to him about Vampire for like 15, 20 minutes. But yeah, I think all of them are just lovely people. Absolutely fascinating to chat to.
I think Burton should write a book. I think there were some stories there that he could have written a book.
Yeah.
To be fair to him, to give him some credit, did he say he's only been working for Merlin for 8 years? I'm sure he
Was
said
that no? He was there for 8 years, but he's been doing the stuff he told us about at the start of his career when he was like at Sea Life Birmingham and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Was before. I think it means he's been at Towers 8 years, isn't it?
He can't be that old though, can
Or
he?
Merlin,
Yeah.
I mean, like the management thing.
Been working for Merlin.
He's got to be only about 30, John Burton, is he? Would you say?
Oh yeah, about that age, I reckon.
I would say he's like 26.
But either way, he's done really well from being, was it a sheep that he was at the Sea Life Centre to be where he is now?
Why not a fish?
That's kind of like the dream job, isn't it?
But all those years of me playing roller coaster tycoon didn't pay off for me.
I know, yeah.
Why couldn't he be a fish instead of a sheep?
I think
Why?
that's the one thing I quite liked is that he turned around and said, look, and he just said it straight out saying, if I can do it, you guys can too.
I don't think it's that easy.
It's like,
though,
it's
but,
just
yeah.
like, he didn't say it's like that. It's not that easy. He said it might not be easy, but if I can do things like this and I'm enthusiastic about it, maybe one day you might be able to too, sort of thing. And it felt quite inspiring, didn't it?
They got quite emotional towards
be
the end
like
of
it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
when he was talking about kind of when Wardley almost handed over Nemesis to him on the last ride during closing. That's
Yeah, the last ride he turned to him and said, "Now it's over to you," or something like that.
Yeah, that was quite emotional to be fair.
Yeah, there was that and certain things of like certain staff, like another generation of that same member of staff was there.
Oh no, his dad was building
things,
the ride,
yeah.
and they signed the last bit of track.
Yeah,
and then
just that sentimentalness
he was there.
of it.
Was he working on the ride, or did they phone him up and say, "Do you want to come out?"
The guy that built the original Nemesis, he was the dad of somebody who was working on it on the new Nemesis. So they got him both back to sign the track.
And then it turned out the last bit of track they put in was the first bit they took out when they retracked it.
It was.
They didn't get them both back. They got them signed at the same place.
It was the person, somebody's dad that designed the new Nemesis, designed the old Nemesis. So they redid his signature in exactly the same place on the new track.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, what were you saying? Sorry.
Put the signature in the same
One of the
place
pigs
as his dad.
Yeah, sorry, I thought one of the pigs was in distress. So I was like a bit like, ooh.
So
I think it's just lovely though. It got me right in the feels though about that sentimental stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it almost felt like when Burton was telling his stories, it was almost like he was more emotional about it than Wardley. Wardley was almost just rattling off everything he said for the last 20 years.
He's like, I'm getting paid by the hour. Get it out of there.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, he's my hero, Wardley. He always will be, but he does reuse some of his stories quite often. Whereas Burton, it seemed quite genuine and fresh coming from Burton.
Yeah.
But then you can't get. There's only ever the same story, isn't there? There's only ever one way that it was named. So you are going to tell the same story every time you tell how it was named.
Yeah.
Mm.
Clearly didn't have enough stories for a second book, though. Did they?
And I don't know who to.
It's really going into it about that second book.
What are you saying, Dad?
I don't know who to dress up as because my school is having like a person who inspires you, but I don't know if I should go for John Burton or John Wardley.
Yeah, they're doing a day in school where they dress as like somebody that inspires her, and she wants to go as either Wardley or Burton. And I'm like, really? Nobody in your school is going to know who you've dressed as. Not in a million years.
I mean, I could bring a wheel with me, and then they might know.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe.
I think what else we saw there that was private stuff. Like we saw photos. Well, I don't know how private it is really. We saw photos of the site before the hole was even built. I don't know how much Wardley was joking about the dynamite and stuff.
I think that was genuine. They used dynamite to.
See, I think I was talking to Costad about it, and when we were looking at the pit, I thought, yeah, you can use dynamite to make a hole, but at some point, you've got to start building there because dynamite, you don't know how the rock's going to crack. It's not like when you carve into it. How'd they know they put out the right exact bits to put the track in?
Oh, Sibby. Who's he put? Sibby's put. I think this is the thing as well, is that Nemesis the ride in general, especially with this event, it is actually really ideal for those that have never bought the books and that have only just got into being an enthusiast as well. So obviously the people that have already know John Wardley and everything that he's done, you kind of think, oh yeah, we know about that. Or if you've read the book, yeah, we know. But for those that are quite new to it, it is a really nice experience as well, I think. Yeah, but then those that already know, we've added things put on top that we kind of learnt about as well. And I think that's what I quite like about it.
Is there anything we've not covered from that talk yet?
I don't think so. I just thought
I should have had a notepad there and just written down.
Yeah.
There was a bit of an awkward moment where obviously the auto cue stopped and both Burton and Samet just kind of looked at each other for about 10 seconds. That's a bit awkward. Neither of them knew what to say, did they?
And then Bianca just said, "It's gone."
No, the talk was all right. I mean, well, I've said what I think about it, but I would have preferred just the two Johns to be, have a drink on the table, just be talking about. I feel like the stories were already there that they knew they were going to tell. They didn't need someone in between going.
There's one reason why, for me, I think they didn't do it as a Q&A, and that's because they let something slip. I think if there was a Q&A at some point, they would have let something slip, even if it was only something small.
They almost let Project Ocean slip.
Yeah, I think they were doing it that way to make sure nobody can ask any questions about future stuff.
I don't know if it was for time as well.
Possibly. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, because imagine if they said, oh, it was question and answer, but they only took like 20 questions from the audience. So there'd be an awful lot of disappointed people that didn't get to put their question across.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Just Fairground DeLorean just put a comment there saying, would you pay 120 just for the talk? For me, even though I love the talk, it was the behind the scenes bit that made it for me. Seeing in the station, the lift hill, the engineering bay, that's what made it.
I'm sure someone told me it was 150 quid.
It is 150.
Okay, yeah. So it's actually 150.
So I
think that's all the price or something, maybe.
I don't know, maybe.
I'm going to go over it quickly for anyone who wasn't here at the start. It's 150 quid. You don't get entry for that. You have to make your own entry to the park. Which you could kind of argue, do you need that if you're going to the conference centre and going after the park to see Nemesis? But you get a gold fast track included, a Nemesis fast track included because that's not on gold anymore. But we didn't get a chance to ride Nemesis because ironically it was down most of the day. But it's a decent event.
Put 120.
Maybe it was 120. Maybe that was because I was speaking to a guy who paid 150, unless people have been scalping it.
Or is he including the ticket price to get into the park, maybe?
Or maybe no map discount. That's why then. So 150 without annual pass.
No, I think you say it's 120 and there's no plus discount. I'd personally say it was a good event and we were very lucky to get tickets. But I wouldn't have paid. I don't think it was worth that much. And if I'd actually paid for it, the way it was handled in the Times, I would have asked for a slight. I wouldn't have got it. I would have asked for a slight refund on it.
Sibby, that would be great for a charity event like Nemesis Marathon the next day.
I think Ben and Holly were planning to do a Nemesis Marathon.
Oh, they're going on the June one, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they did it before.
Yeah, they wouldn't have
closed,
included the hotel for 150, Sibby.
Mm.
But yeah, included the gold fast track and the talk. I thought it was funny because it was in the email, and I as soon as I read it on the email, I asked a few other people who were going. It's a bit cheeky how they went. This was included. You're free to purchase your own refreshments in the conference. And I was like, that seems so cheeky that they couldn't just bankroll some drinks as well.
I think if you're going to do it, like I said, in June time, it'd be nice with the drinks. But also, I think it'd be nice after the talk if they actually had some of the books as well. Because I was under the impression that the new Nemesis one would be.
They sell it in the shop, don't they?
But I've not seen them. So.
Well, Andy's told us it's not very good. So.
But it'd be nice if they had of the books to buy in between then. Like, yes, it is more signing, but it would be nice just to see ones that are already signed and maybe people could buy them there as well. I don't know, but
they did have some of the second book in the shop, but I think that was when we first went in the morning. I don't think there was any there, and even we went back in, so whether or not they sold them, I don't know. But the second book's definitely worth reading if you're an enthusiast. If you're not an enthusiast, read something else. I
should put that on the blurb. If you're not an enthusiast, read something else.
That's what the book's about. On the first couple of pages, I think it says that. It says this book's for enthusiasts, not for...
Very, very detailed. For example, one of the first things that I came across was what the material they had to use on the lift hill to the log flume so the boat didn't slip back, and it was naming what material it was and why they used that.
Yeah, it's very, very...
Whereas the first one, it was more stories about how it...
Yeah, it was his career.
Yeah, like an autobiography, basically.
It sounds like this.
I did prefer that one.
It sounds like the second one is like workings out from experiments that you do in school.
Yeah. Educational.
Oh, there's another thing we missed.
What's
there
that?
There was a number on our...
there's a number on the lanyard thing.
They had to give away.
They had a giveaway. They gave away some earbuds or whatever they're called.
From Percy.
A lift hill climb as well, didn't they, on Nemesis?
Yeah.
Did they have to do that after everyone left?
And then, along with two friends.
Lift hill climb to recreate the Wardley photo with Ben, yeah.
And then...
there was a goodie bag at the start they gave away as well.
Yeah.
But your ticket was like your lanyard number, basically.
Yeah.
But I think
it was
my
very
one's...
exciting.
Do you think my one's rarer because I didn't get it signed? Because the amount of people that got it signed...
But I got mine done. So, yeah.
But I was quite happy to meet Mike Wheely with a beer.
I did actually.
I mean, it was a decent event. I'm not going to say it's a bad event.
I'd happily go to it. Like I said,
I wouldn't have paid that much for it.
For those...
But I know some people would have.
I just think for those with like dietary or literally if you've been at the park all day, it just would have been nice, even if it's just a cup of tea.
Actually, I've got a question.
Or a bottle of water. That's all I'd ask.
I've got an unrelated question.
Just for the waiting.
I've got an unrelated question for people in the chat and maybe the Jones as well. I was thinking this a couple of days ago, just off topic. I was thinking about how I only realised when it got redone that the track was meant to actually be part of Nemesis. I thought that was what was holding it down. But then I also thought, these people going on about the actors that are going, oh, free Nemesis and all this. If you free Nemesis, there's enthusiasts going, seek the truth. Yeah, we support you. If they free Nemesis, you can't ride it anymore. How many? So now I'm thinking, once people realise that, they're going to go, yeah, Phalanx, let's keep this thing pinned down, please. We want to ride it. It's our favourite ride. These people who are, protesting, they need to, jog on. We don't want to get rid of them.
Maybe overthinking this a little bit, Mike.
I know, but when you think about it, it's like...
This is why they say
it's like when you watch it's like when you watch a film though, you know it's fake because you've seen the actor and other stuff, but you like to suspend disbelief a bit, I think.
Don't ride the tentacles, it has feelings.
I don't know, I just think it's a bit I don't know, whatever. I just think if you're gonna free it, you can't ride it anymore, can you?
The track was supposed to be holding the monster down originally.
See, that's what I thought, but apparently it was the supports.
Yeah,
I thought the supports are meant to be holding the the track down. The track was a monster, even on the first version.
They've changed the story, haven't they?
On the first one, the track was the cage around the monster, and then now it's the veins.
I don't think they ever said with the original one what it was, but obviously the new one is the track as part of the monster.
Do you think they'll do the same thing for Vampire, event-wise? I mean,
I hope they do
Well-
another vampire one.
We're going to the Vampire VIP event kind of on. I don't know why I booked.
Oh
it.
no, that wasn't the question. Sorry, I've asked the wrong thing.
Oh,
The thing about, do you think you get the same treatment?
The Vampire one actually sounds better because it's a maximum of 10 people.
Whether they'll retrack them.
Oh, well, they'll retrack it. Hopefully, because Vampire is Chessington's nemesis. If it goes, Chessington loses a massive part of what it is. What is the cat doing?
I can't see Mike anymore. I've got a cat in the face.
Vampire Resurrected.
Vampire Bites Back would be a better name.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Or
Not-
bite me.
Not Sky Eye.
They
Yeah, Bite Me.
have that on the t-shirts already.
Just change the theme and call it Professor Burt Brides again. You can go around with like speakers on where he's just laughing and no, that'll be funny. I like Ruffalo though.
All I can say is hashtag bring back the century.
What if they made a square maze with Professor Bubble works in?
That'd be quite cool.
They could do it, but they wouldn't do it just to. Would you change the trains? Probably try and make it a bit. They're not that uncomfortable. It's that bit when it goes underground and it whips you back up.
For me, it's the last inversion where it comes into the station. It's proper bouncy.
Inversion.
Oh, we're still talking about Vampire, aren't we? Not Nemesis.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. In that case, ignore what I just said.
Okay, that one was Nemesis then. I was like, what?
Oh no, Nemesis isn't that uncomfortable. Really.
Lap bar, please.
The only thing that makes Vampire more exciting from my point of view is not having lap bars.
Really?
Yeah, I like Vampire, but it's not the most exciting of rides nowadays.
I don't know. I like the whole feeling of swooping through the forest, especially on a night ride through it, because it actually feels like this swooping through the forest.
Don't know.
I'd take that over Mandrill any day.
The other thing with
Oh
Nemesis,
yeah, take anything
Oh,
from
yeah.
Andrew. That's my least favorite ride there.
the thing with Nemesis is it's still a valid roller coaster. It's still got the thrill factor. Vampire nowadays, for kids going that, it's not exciting enough, in my opinion.
I don't know. You see kids getting off loving it.
Like me.
Yeah, but it's just I don't know.
I mean,
It does,
it gets 70-minute queues. Sometimes
It
that's
does.
more than Nemesis.
it does, and that shows that they need to retract Vampire, because if you've got a ride, regardless of how old it is, when you're getting 70-minute queues on it all day, that proves it needs to still be there in 10 years' time.
We've got a really good question here. What other attraction would you all like to see a familiar VIP setup for?
Similar.
Oh, similar, sorry. Ugh.
I think Merlin have catered for most rides now, haven't they? With the Vampire one.
I feel like when the Lift Hill Walks kind of started it, and there were a few things before that. This VIP event is a good one, but I feel like the gates have opened now. So like Blackpool, like let's charge a load of people for this Grand Prix event, which isn't going to include that much stuff. I feel like the gates have opened now, and we're going to see a lot of the. I'm not saying Merlin won't be guilty of it as well sometimes, but we're going to see the other small parks give out VIP events that are going to be very expensive for very little. And I think the gates have opened because they've seen Towers do it well. You see what I mean? I think Blackpool would do that. Definitely.
Should be saying about the VIP Hyperion one. The price of that is going to be so high.
It will be.
Oh, they could call it Viperia.
Oh,
They could mix the
high.
words. They could call it Viperia. Oh, we haven't mentioned Fearless Valley.
But can we just
Copy
mention
my homework, but change it a bit, yeah? Fearless Valley.
which one VIP would you choose? Choose one.
It's not really. We talked about the curse should do it, but then Mike Ely told us about no, because if someone stands on any part of the track, the elements are so brittle that it'll break it, so they can't do that. But there's not many other rides
And there's some unique electricals to it.
I
which
can think of.
I get which electrical piece is missing.
The only other one I can think of is the Ghost Train at Blackpool, which annoyingly they did do, but it's on the same day as Nemesis opening.
Oh, really?
Yeah, don't make me choose between those two.
Oh no. I liked that ghost train as well. I haven't been on that in years though, but I went round that so many times.
It's so
Back in
scary
the day.
now.
Not scary.
Yes, it is. There's monks looking at you.
That bit's scary. The rest of it's not.
I think I would like to see more of, how can I put it? Maybe like possible VIP on like certain flat rides and things like that as well. But the curse one would be quite cool to do.
Yeah.
But also looking back at the changes over time, like Jewel and like the previous one before that as well, I think it'd be quite nice.
Do you know
Just
Alton
to-
Towers?
Yeah, just do that.
Alton Towers needs a museum somewhere.
Mm.
I know that sounds really boring, but imagine going to like the Swiss Cottage and Alton Towers would be a really good example of where they could kind of build a small museum and they could have photos, video clips of kind of old rides at Towers. I think that would actually have a reasonable number of people that go to it.
I agree with Rachel with Galactica as well, but it is mainly Alton Towers again. I'd like to see another VIP event in general based on any ride at Alton Towers, if I'm quite honest, because I
struggle to do a similar one anywhere
I
else
just
because you'd
love
have to
it.
walk further to get to the ride after the talk, and also there's not as many. I don't know, Oblivion you can maybe talk about, but I don't think any of the other rides can have as much history or little stories about people.
I think the Smiler VIP one would do quite well in terms of the following the Smiler's got.
I think 13 would be quite good.
Yeah, 13 would be a reasonable one to do a walkthrough on as well, with seeing the mechanics of it.
I mean, it's a bit like when we went to go to like see the Scare Maze for Saw, but then we went on Saw the ride after. That was quite a cool.
Yeah, we did behind the
thing.
scenes of
I
the
can't remember
maze.
who that was, but that was really cool when we did that back in the day at
I think
Thorpe
that
Park.
was South Parks, I think, which
Yeah.
was Towers Times.
But yeah, it was quite a while ago. But yeah, I'd love to.
On the boat.
I don't know. I just really like it. Like, it's the fact that you can get the chance to go there, but then it also inspires you to be a possible like engineer, creative person in general, or just someone that's into like design and engineering. And I just that's just everything put into one for me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm talking to John Burton about what software he used for this, and he didn't want to tell me, but I think it is.
He probably didn't know. Bless him.
But at the same time, I was like, maybe he didn't know, and he got someone specialist to do it for him. Well, I think I'm a bit more qualified to do it, but
You tell him that.
But yeah, I did feel like saying that. Am I overqualified? Can I apply? But yeah, no, I didn't really. But yeah, I can't think of just anything to do with Alton Towers because I just love the place. And didn't they used to show you around in the towers in general as well? They used to people used to show you around in towers as well themselves.
Yeah, didn't Sean Sambrough used to be one of the tour guides there at one point?
Yeah. I remember they used to do it back in the day, and then we were going to do it as like a school group when I was at school myself, and then they didn't do them from when I went back again, which was like years later. But
well, it
I
looks
miss
like
them.
it looks like it's taking the scare mazes out of the Towers building, so maybe in the future they will do that again. Maybe they'll kind of reopen it as a bit of a Towers tour. Should be quite cool.
Well, Chesington have started doing a behind-the-scenes tour after the park closes in the evening.
Yeah, you get to
Oh, that would be cool in
Yeah.
Alton Towers, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, they're just doing Alton Towers After Dark.
Have you watched that program? What's it called? One Night In, and then it's Josh Widdicombe.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and they do one in Towers.
Yeah.
Towers. That's really good. That's like the dream, isn't it? To just stay in Towers all through the night with nobody else there.
And the girl that sings "Spin Me Right Round" Spinball Wizard.
Yeah, she doesn't like it. She's
No.
in the wrong place.
Hex, Rachel, I think Hex will be open at some point this year, but I don't know
they've got
when.
new
But
queue
they said
lines.
soon. So, yeah.
It'll be alright. I think it'll be the same thing as when it was closed for a bit before and randomly open. I think people will rush on it, but then people will just walk past it again.
What VIP events would you do, guys? Anyway, sorry, I just rambled on about stuff.
Talking about Hex, that would be one of the best ones to do a behind the scenes VIP tour on. We actually watched a video a week or so ago where it was like, I think it was mid 2000s maybe, where they did that. They did a behind the scenes tour, and we were kind of watching the the video of it. And it looked really interesting, to be fair, because the ride mechanics on Hex, the way it's kind of it's like a cylindrical thing, isn't it? But
it's in a hexagon drum, hence being called Hex.
Yeah.
A Towers Museum would be cool as well. Yeah, I agree with that.
They could
I'm
do
just
it. They've got
catching up with
they
comments
keep
as
most
well.
of their stuff down that side back bit is where most of their storage is for that old stuff. Near where the entrance for Mine Tours was.
I think Theme Park Worldwide. I think he already has one, doesn't he? He's already got one.
Well, he's got a crockery set. He's got all those mugs. I
He's
wouldn't
got everything and
necessarily say we've got a friend, and I won't mention who it is, who has the head of the Rabbit Thought Park Ranger that goes around the park, and because the original has now been destroyed, his one, which was one that was worn, but there was more than one, but his one's the only one left. He's got it on display in his study, and it's this big rabbit head, because the head bit that you wear, that your cast member wears, you know, it's the rabbit from. It's the only one left, and he's got it in his study. And I'm like, what did they? So he had work done in his house. I'm like, what did they say when they came in? They're like, yeah, they were a bit put off.
Well, if the Alton Towers Swan that was on eBay can sell for £500,000, then I'm pretty sure that would be worth quite a bit of money on eBay as well.
Yeah, I don't think he'd ever sell it though, would he? But yeah, just I don't know what else you want to say about it, but it was all right. I mean, I'm very much the reason I don't wholeheartedly go, oh, it was amazing and stuff, is because if someone goes, oh, you've just said it's amazing, and I've seen this and it's not great, I'd be like, it's like when you don't want to give someone the wrong directions, in case that they come back and go, you told me the wrong way. It was good.
I'm going to say we said what we needed to say, but obviously, if anyone goes to the next one and wants to put their input in, you're more than welcome.
The next one will probably be run a bit better because I don't think they'll overrun this time.
Yeah, might be a bit more structured and less tickets, maybe.
No, they've already sold out.
Have they already?
Yeah.
Oh my word! I'm not with the times.
I'll be honest, the Nemesis event was my favourite ever event at Alton Towers. Mainly because it was Nemesis. If it was a different ride, not so much. But before that, Oktoberfest and the fireworks VIP would have been my top of the list. But for me, just going behind the scenes of Nemesis is probably something I'm not going to get to do anytime in the future. So for me, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, to me, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really interesting. Love going behind the scenes. But my only niggle was the amount of queuing that was involved.
Considering it was VIP.
That kind of took away the VIP access. Because to me, VIP is jumping to the front of the queue and being like the only one there, kind of
not
exclusive.
Not one of 200 people.
That literally was the only thing that I could fault in it, because of everything else. I just really enjoyed the day.
The problem is they shot themselves in the foot because they've got that many tickets sold for the next one as well. So they've got to do exactly the same thing again. I can't see how they can do it any differently.
Well, they can chop some stuff out or get them to get there early. Ask them to get there earlier, and
I suppose
they probably won't hang around with like signing too much stuff, or they'll just go photo, move on, photo, move on.
Add Michael Ealy to the table to sign. He made his day. He made his birthday. Sorry.
I don't think I think he bought a ticket to go. I don't think he was asked to go there.
No, but it was nice for him, wasn't it? Just for people to ask him to sign the book as well. But yeah.
Is there anything you want to tell people before we wrap up?
Anyone else want to add anything at all? Any adventures?
Go and follow the Joneses and watch everyone's vlogs from this Saturday when we all go to the social.
Cue the millions of Flamingoland vlogs.
Flamingoland vlogs, yeah. There's going to be a lot of those. Should be fun though. I've not been before.
There's a few rides that I am scared of though. So heads up, everybody that's going.
Yeah, Mumbo Jumbo terrifies me.
What's Mumbo Jumbo?
Well, Andy's going to go on the Starflyer, so it's fun.
Yeah.
I didn't agree to this.
It's not very tall from what I've seen. Not like some others I've ridden.
Is it the first time you've all been to Flamingoland as well?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Oh, their own world firsts.
Well, so are we.
My world first.
Looking forward to Kamali.
Well, it's on the record for the most.
The same as Rage in Adventure Island.
No, it's got more of a vertical drop on it. It's on the record from Saw at Thorpe Park the day after Saw opened, or the week after, something like that.
Hero. Yeah, we'll ride Hero, but I don't think it's very good.
Just to say to everyone, thank you everyone for watching as well. Obviously, if you just want to give our video a share, you're quite welcome to like and subscribe. And I've still got the photography challenge for this month, and this month it's wood. The prompt is wood. Yes, I know there may be a lot of Wicker Man photos. I know. Yes, I know there'll be a lot of photos of Wicker Man, but just anything to do with wood. So, yeah. And then just tag me in it, Stacey_L2E. And there we go.
Do you want to plug anything else, Joneses, before?
Subscribe.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Mumbo Jumbo is brilliant. I'm looking forward to Kamali the most. But,
I'm a bit scared of Mumbo Jumbo.
I'm looking forward to Sick the most, I think.
See, because we're getting ERS on Sick, I might ride it a couple of times and then just run around and try and get footage of everyone else on it during the session.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's kind of ride where after a couple of goes I'm going to go, I need to ride that 10 more times.
Who can sit on the front and be like saying it's Thursday night? You know what that means? That's what I think.
They've already been very strict about you can't go on ride unless you've got a GoPro and it's got chest mount only. You're not allowed wrist mounts or anything. They've already talked to me about that.
No, I was like filming the bit at the end, like someone stood there and then the other person's on the ride filming.
Maybe. They've already.
When Sibby says that Heroes are one and done, does he mean that once you've been on it, you can't walk anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
heard some stories, so yeah, that might be the last one to go on, maybe.
I'm looking forward to, is it Monster Mansion? Because that's what Chris put in Room 101 when we did that a few weeks ago. So
yeah. I'll have to watch that on our earlier vlogs.
Shall we let these people that are watching enjoy their evenings?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. There was something else I was going to put about shaking John Wardley's hand. It also feels like
it was very clammy, wasn't it?
No, it just feels as soft as Graham Humphreys when I shook his hand.
I don't know who Graham Humphreys is.
When we met in the 80s video shop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that did
I know that guy.
Halloween stuff. Yeah, so there we go. It's his hands are soft as his. So if you go shake John Wardley's hand, it's the same as his hand. It's really weird.
Don't mention Jasper Carrot and he'll be all right, I think.
But yeah.
Yeah.
It's a compliment, though. Just giving out the compliment there. You have soft hands.
Did Darcy want to say the catchphrase before we go?
You know what the catchphrase is. You know how to say this one.
See you in the review, but for now we're gone.
Yay!